over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Long Walk Talks. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am joined once again by my co-host, Comrade Chris Barnes.
Greetings.
Do svidaniya. And we are once again joined by the host of our sister show, This Is a Work, David Two Dogs Hayes.
I can't believe I made it back for a second one.
I know. We're so glad to have you back.
We have gathered here and broken out the eggnog.
Yes, we're dressed in black. Holy shit, all three of us actually are dressed in black. This is fascinating.
So, do we open up the gifts or
send them back? We are doing another Christmas special after last year's all of the other reindeer episode was so well received. I decided I was going to try to capture lightning twice. And wow.
When I suggest terrible things for us to watch, I am met with anger and derision. But somehow Dave gets his through the filter.
Yeah, well, it's because it's my show. So I decided that for this year's horrible Christmas special to watch and review on here, I wanted to do Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, the cartoon from the year 2000.
That brings up an interesting point because I did a little bit of research. So we know the special was released in 2000. When do you guys know off the top of your head when the song was released?
It's in the 60s, right?
No.
No, it's not that old.
I think it's in the 80s.
You're close.
Maybe
You're
early
close.
90s.
No.
No?
You were closer with 80s. It was released in 1979. Well, that's when
Get
it was
out.
when it
Really?
was first released. It was released a couple of more times in the early 80s. So yeah, way to strike while the iron's cold.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into discussing this train wreck of a children's cartoon, I would like our guest here, David Two Dogs Hayes, to give us a dramatic reading, because I don't know if you guys know this, but in addition to being a wrestler and a podcast host, Doggz is also an actor. And so I would like him to do a dramatic reading of the lyrics to Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Oh, I'd be happy to.
Go ahead, Doggz.
You're gonna put music behind this, right?
No.
Oh, come on.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. Now you can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. She'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go. But she forgot her medication. And she staggered out the door into the snow.
No one helped this woman.
When we found her Christmas morning,
They forgot about her the whole fucking night.
at the scene of the attack, she had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. But as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Grandpa.
God, there's more.
He's been taking this so well. Seeing him in there watching football, drinking beer, and playing cards with Cousin Mel. It's not Christmas without Grandma. All the family is dressed in black. And we just can't help but wonder, should we open up her gifts or send them back.
Send them back.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer coming home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. But as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now the goose is on the table.
Jesus, there's more.
And the pudding made of fig. That would just have matched the hair. Oh, I'm sorry. Skipped a line. And the blue and the silver candles. That would have just matched the hair on Grandma's wig. I've warned all my friends and neighbors. Better watch out for yourselves. They should never give a license to a man who drives a sleigh and plays with elves. Grandma got run over by a reindeer coming home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa. But as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Thank you.
I'm going to hold
Yes.
my applause. But
Thank you, Doggz. So, full disclosure.
quick question: does the singer of that song actually like his grandma?
That is a very good question. I don't know. I picked this special because after all of the other reindeer felt like a full day of being waterboarded. For some reason in my...
No, it's not that bad, and you're going to find out why in a minute.
Well, for some reason, I remember watching this when it came out, and for some reason, I remember this being as a half-hour special, which in TV time made it 22 minutes.
So quick question before... So if you were being pitched the idea of making Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer into a Christmas special, how long would you make it?
A half hour at most. You just heard the lyrics to the song.
Yeah.
It's a 2.5 minute song. How do you make an hour-long special out of that?
Not like this, is what I'm going to say.
No, it's...
Not like this, and as a haphazard musical?
it took
boy.
very little writing. The whole plot's written out there for you in the song. It's
Yeah. When Chris and I went to go and find this online on Friday, which we discovered, if you actually want to watch this special, if you've never seen it before,
It's
or if
on-
you have and you want to revisit it,
Yeah, it's on Daily Motion.
you can find the whole thing on Daily Motion.
Type in Grandma, Gramma. That's how it's spelled.
Yeah, I guess that's how they got around it.
Yeah.
But when we looked this up and I saw that it was 50 minutes, I was like, oh, shit.
I also
Here we
was
go
surprised. I
again.
did not realize this was with commercials an hour long.
But see, I thought this thing just zipped right by.
It did, surprisingly, for me too. That doesn't make it better.
No, I had the opposite
Because-
experience. This
because
felt
things-
so long.
Things were flying by so fast for me. I had to stop and rewind, and that made me angrier.
What a way to start a Sunday morning. I got up at 8:30 and got a cup of coffee this morning and sat down on the couch with my dogs and watched this. And it felt so long.
That sounds like the start of how you slowly realize you've been like Twilight Zoned into hell. It's like,
See, now, I watched it Friday. When I got home from work, I laid down on the couch and started watching it. And I turned it up really loud because Kara was yelling at me. I don't know, something about a lost check. I don't know what it was. And I turned it up so loud that whenever the chorus came on and Kara was yelling at me, it sounded like she was singing the song.
okay,
Dogs, I think you lost our check.
where the fuck did you put it?
Oh, man.
Oh, you've seen
Well-
this before, have you?
So,
Okay, this is really weird. You watched it Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
You watched it Sunday morning. I watched it Saturday night.
No.
so this thing... Well, okay, let me at least start by saying something positive about this movie, which is that the animation is good. It's 2D cell animation. It is not
Okay.
the Salvador Dali nightmare that all
Okay.
of the other reindeer was.
That's fair. It's not.
It was very.
It's not terrible. It's very cheaply done. Because
Well, yeah, but I'll
I specifically note there is a terrible, terrible shot.
Well, it is better than the waking nightmare of Olive.
They went experimental with Olive, and they tried to stay true to the art style, and it didn't work.
Well, there was
but
a
this
short
was-
period of time where I was like, this is the end thing. And most cartoons, quote unquote,
Yeah.
were doing this.
Yeah, but this looks. I mean, overall, this is just kind of rushed to me. It's just like,
It has a very 'twas the night before Christmas feel to it
Yeah.
as far as the animation goes.
Well, this special kicks off with an even worse version of the song than we're used to.
Yeah.
Like, it feels slower. It
Which
feels
is-
even weirder.
which is a shame because we should point out the man who wrote it, Elmo Shropshire, is all over it. He helped extensively with this.
Yeah, he's the voice of Grandpa, and he's the voice of future Jake.
He does good as Grandpa. Okay, I liked the voice actors in this. That's my big positive thing. But the voice direction and like the art direction and the production is just not good.
Well, so it starts off the actual plot with introducing us to our cast of characters,
The
including
Spankenheimer family.
the Spankenheimers, and specifically Grandma, who has her own shop in what's the name of the city that they live in?
Cityville.
Cityville, from
Okay,
the great
I have a
great
note.
state of Place State.
Okay, I think the only time they mention that is Santa. Isn't he the only person who mentions it?
Oh no, they say Cityville constantly
When do they
throughout the special.
Cityville Police,
I don't.
Cityville
I never
Towers.
paid any attention until when Santa said it, and I got mad. It feels like a placeholder in the script, but they were just like, whatever.
Well, see, it felt more to me like in the Judge Dredd comic books and movies,
Yeah.
Mega City 1, where like so many places have just been gathered into one enormous city.
Oh, Mega City 1, yeah.
Because Santa, at one point later in the film, I'm putting the cart before the horse here, but he talks about how he hasn't gotten any letters this year.
From Cityville.
No
From
one's
Cityville.
calling from Cityville.
Oh,
And I was like, is
Santa, do you
Cityville-
mean Larry David?
So is Cityville the only city left on Earth? Are we in some kind of weird post-apocalyptic scenario where the rest of the United States has been destroyed and Cityville is all that remains?
But apparently, no. Apparently, everywhere else in the world they've sent him mail. It's just Cityville, for some reason, is suffering from a lack of Santa.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's his favorite city.
Well, Grandma
Apparently.
runs her own general store where she dresses as
A
an
general
elf.
store in a city.
Yeah, where she dresses as an elf and reads to children, which we're told in narration as we're watching it happen on screen.
That happens
It
constantly.
happens constantly throughout this film. We are
Constantly.
told things that we can see with our own
as
two
they're
eyes.
happening, as characters are saying it.
And
My first note is Grandma's a saint, an annoying saint.
yes, so Grandma is way too nice to her customers, and we are introduced to her employee, Cousin Mel, from the song, whose only mention is playing cards with Grandpa.
Yeah.
Cousin Mel, I always assumed listening to the song that Cousin Mel was a male,
It was
but
just-
no, Cousin Mel is a busty blonde female.
That
Redhead.
looks like Daphne from Scooby Doo.
Actually, yeah, redhead.
Oh, she's redhead?
She's a redhead,
That tells you
yeah.
how little attention I
I saw
paid
where
to
you
this.
were looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a point I'm gonna get to soon. It's like this special's not for kids.
No, because Cousin Mel is a sex pot and despot, and
Well, she's money hungry.
she's money hungry and conniving.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, see, now here's the thing. The way we start this out, I agree with Cousin Mel. It's
I
like
mean-
the woman wants to take home a gingerbread house without paying for it. And I'm like, the hell? This ain't no soup kitchen woman. What's wrong with you?
she's right, but because she's a complete complete bitch, you know, you're meant to be like boo this woman.
Yeah.
Boo you for wanting to run a successful business.
Like Cousin Mel is the only one who knows how stores work. Apparently,
Yeah.
Capitalism in general.
Yeah. So
Money has to be exchanged for goods and services.
Exactly. I'm
So-
with you, Cousin Mel.
so Grandma gets approached
cards.
by
Shall I say it, or do you want to say it?
Yeah, no, you go for it because I can't remember.
Austin Bucks.
Austin Bucks. There we go.
Austin Bucks, yeah.
From Own All Corporation.
Who I noted here, he's basically a proto Jeff Bezos with his mecha Santa sleigh.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
wants
see-
to build a series of places that will have like automated Santas to deliver stuff.
Oh, see, my first thought was Eric Trump,
I feel
who
like that's,
turns out to have more of a conscience than.
I feel like that's mean to Austin Bucks, the 2D animated stick figure.
Well, apparently Austin Bucks has bought out every single business in Cityville.
which I think is illegal.
Yeah, there's something about a board game. I don't know.
The Rico actor.
But and he wants to buy Grandma's general store, which she is against, but Cousin Mel is all for because money.
And weirdly enough, it's like the conflict is Cousin Mel through and through. Like Austin Bucks is like, he's pushy, but he's not a bad guy. He's like, I just want to buy your place and give you a bunch of money for it.
Yeah.
He's like, I have this idea that I think will work, but I need your place. And it's like, I'll give you a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he's not harsh about it, because when she says no, he's like, okay, we'll rethink it.
So Grandma and Cousin Mel and Jake go home, and Grandma is just trying to make meals, fruitcakes specifically, to give out to people, but no one in the family, this unhelpful, selfish, horrible.
They're all
family
terrible
of
people.
ours.
They are all terrible people. The older sister I wrote down is she's stuck on smarmy bitch.
Yeah. No one wants to help Grandma make her stupid fruitcakes except Jake.
The parents are just nothing characters.
So while they're making fruitcakes,
Who's like 14 years old and still believes in Santa Claus.
Is he?
That's a mental disorder.
Is that his age? I
well,
thought he
it's
was like
not
9
in
or
this
10.
universe, considering that you can email Santa at santaisreal.com.
You know what? I'll bet that's a real email
I'm
address.
sure it is.
I'm still really there's so many questions.
Yeah.
There's so many questions.
So Cousin Mel distracts Grandma and Jake long enough to ostensibly poison
I have
one
that
of her fruitcakes.
noted. I looked it up. She commits aggravated assault by poisoning Grandma's baconing.
Baconing?
Baconing. Bacon would have helped, I'm sure.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer too. The baconing.
So as the song tells us, Grandma goes and drinks.
I'm sorry. That's a good point. To point out that we literally break away from the actual story of the special. I wrote 12 minutes in, and the plot of this. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is something. They actually break away. Special is padded out with a music video sequence about how terrible fruitcake is.
Yeah, about how much everyone loves or hates fruitcake, except for Grandma's.
Music video sequence. Like, it's just, it breaks away from everything so that it can illustrate this song. And by illustrate, I mean it just literally illustrates the song.
Yep. I should also mention that I made it a grand total of 4 minutes and 47 seconds before checking the time on this to realize that I still had 45 minutes to go. So, true to the song, Grandma drinks some eggnog, but not too much of it.
They gloss over the fact that in the song, when they say Grandma's had too much eggnog, they mean spiked eggnog.
Yeah.
They mean she's been drinking.
Unless she's lactose intolerant, in which case.
And
Sure.
And Grandma, and as they note in the song, Grandma staggers out the door. Grandma here in the show, she's fine.
Yeah, she just walks out the door irritated
her
with her stupid family.
Her son is like on the floor as they sing the lyric. She'd been having too much eggnog. He gets down and he's like, "You've had too much eggnog."
No, she hasn't.
He literally repeats what just happened.
Well, and the song also says walking home from our house Christmas Eve. But no,
They all live together, don't they?
They all live
Yeah.
together. She leaves Grandpa behind because she's going out to deliver her stupid fruitcakes.
She's going to like a volunteer. Yeah, she's going to like a volunteer center or something. Yeah.
Already, they are just completely disregarding their
fuck is
source
happening?
material.
And why are you walking? This is Cityville. This is a 2-day trek. If you're going to walk across Cityville, do you not have a car? Can you? I mean,
Also, if
a
it's
helpful
Cityville, shouldn't
holiday
they have like
donkey?
a transit system of some kind?
where is the Cityville taxi service?
Where's the bus? Where's the taxis?
So many questions, so few answers.
The infrastructure of this city is fucked up.
Yeah.
So here we get our inciting incident.
Also, randomly, the dog is named Doofus. I don't know what decision was behind.
That's just fun.
Well, I thought he was just being an asshole to the dog at first because he was like, "Hey, Doofus," and I was like, "Oh, that's mean." No, wait, the dog's name.
It only
Doofus.
comes up because cousin Mel lies about Doofus getting out of the house.
Yeah, so that she can poison a fruitcake.
Yeah.
That she's going to deliver to, like, apparently down on the luck people or, like, elderly people.
Yeah.
Now, see, here's where this should have become a horror movie. And if I was in charge of this production, it would have. Because Jake has already gone to bed as Grandma is leaving. And he hears?
She puts him to bed. I'm actually got the special running on my laptop right now.
Oh, God, why? So he's laying in bed, and what should he hear but jingle bells? And he looks out his window and hears Santa and all of his reindeer. And he can see Santa about to, oh God, he's heading right towards Grandma.
This is where the worst shot in the movie, when Santa flies in front of the moon, it is literally looks like a little cutout that you'd hang on a wall, just sliding in front of the frame.
Yeah.
It is that. Okay, that's the worst one. I mean, but the rest doesn't look especially great, but that's the worst shot of the whole thing.
So Grandma gets run over by a reindeer, and Jake runs downstairs to tell everybody.
Fingerprint still on the glass as he moves away.
And so he runs downstairs to tell the family, and no one believes him, and he's trying to get them to go outside
Or
and look.
cares.
And at one point, either cousin Mel or the sister, somebody says something to Grandpa.
Cousin Mel, he says it still believes in Santa syndrome or something like that.
Oh yeah, she calls it. Yeah, there's a stupid term for it, but she's like, "Grandpa, what's wrong?" Because he's just standing at the front window, staring out. What is it? What is the line that he says?
Oh, I can't remember.
He basically says everything Jake just says, but with the happiest tone in his voice I've ever heard.
It's so weird because she's like, "Grandpa, what are you looking at?" "Oh, just Grandma laying out on the sidewalk after just getting run over by a reindeer."
My note is Grandpa is entirely too excited about Grandma getting run the fuck over.
Well, he's been waiting on this for years, apparently.
And it leads to the most egregious animation error in the entire thing, which is when the mom opens the door, it's daytime outside.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't even notice
It is straight up daytime.
So they go out and they look, and they're far from from hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back.
Okay,
the body's just gone.
I think it's the next day when they're with the cops.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the cops get called.
Yeah, when they
one of the cops is from Minnesota.
Clearly it's
Marge Gunderson.
Yeah, it's Frances McDormand's character from Fargo.
Yeah. Oh my God! When the cops are called and they say, when they're looking at the crime scene, they sing the lyrics that Doggz read out about her having hoof marks on her head, like being trampled and dead. And it's just like, well, there's no body there. And it's like, It's like, you just said the lyrics or Grandma died.
Well, cousin Mel sees something in the snow while they're examining where the body should be, and decides that she's going to hide it inside of her coat. Now, this is a piece of paper that has been laying in the snow all night, but is still perfectly intact.
Yeah.
I believe this
dry snow.
This whole scene
in Cityville, they have very dry snow.
I've heard that.
It's not. It doesn't ice over.
Oh, is it that snow that people show on YouTube that disproves global warming?
Yes.
Okay. So this whole sequence with them talking to the cops and them being snide assholes just led to the most important note I think I put down here, and is, why is everyone in this special a cunt?
Jesus. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. Also, sorry again, Mom.
So I apologize. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's an important question.
Mm-hmm. So, what happens from here? No, I'm asking you. What happens from here? I started zoning out.
Well,
so they all just basically
they just give up.
They do.
Dad, who is also Mr. Fantastic by the tiger stripe in his in his hair. They just say, well, there you go then.
Well, Grandma's missing.
And they go ahead and assume she's dead because they get to the part where they dress in black and, Grandpa plays cards with cousin Mel.
Yeah, and it's September of next year. They're still wearing black.
Well, yeah. They end up moving forward all the way out to September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is very confusing the way this is laid out, because when were they all wearing black? Have they just been wearing black for 9 months?
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
Cousin Mel been playing cards with Grandpa for 9 months? I have no idea what's going on. All we're seeing is pages from a calendar get ripped off.
And they're all wearing black.
It would have been better if it just cut to someone just going, Jake, stop ripping pages off that calendar.
Yeah, they're all wearing black, and they're all sad, working the store, just going, "Thank you, come again." Well, it's no wonder that business is failing. And so
Jesus Christ, you put some customer service voice in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and Grandma's
Fake
not
it like
there.
we all do.
Grandma's not there to give away free shit anymore.
Yeah,
so
And presumably she was the only one who read to the kids because no one else seems to be pitching in.
yeah, no one else wants to do that
Fucking
bullshit.
layabout assholes.
Read to the
it's-
kids. What are we, communist Russia?
no, she's running a nursery school for free in there while the parents go out and shop.
Oh God, it's
or
bad.
whatever.
It's definitely one of those stores where people do that because people even without something like that will like leave their kids in
Here,
stores.
you watch
and
my
let-
children.
Let them
Yeah.
run around for like a few hours while they take care of stuff.
Well, I go and
Exactly.
be an asshole.
So we're going to the
Well-
Cityville bar.
Well, finally, after 9 months, Cousin Mel sees her chance to sell the general store to Austin Bucks. What was this
Austin
asshole's
Bucks.
name?
Austin Bucks.
Austin Bucks
Austin
from
Bucks.
Own All Corps. And but she needs Grandma's signature or Grandpa's signature on the deed
essentially
first.
holds.
How she got a hold of this deed, I don't know. When
she found it in the snow. Remember?
well, no, that was the letter that Santa wrote. See, this is what I thought too.
No. Is it the letter? Okay. Because I thought she also found the deed.
That's what I thought.
She did find the deed at some point. I don't remember how.
Okay, maybe yeah. Okay, maybe she found the note Santa left. And
Because
then
my
took the
thought was-
opportunity to lift the deed.
Yeah, because all of a sudden she just has it, and so I thought, why is Grandma just walking around on Christmas Eve with the deed to her store in her pocket?
Probably because she doesn't trust Cousin Mel.
Oh yeah. So she asked.
By the way, let's not forget Grandma's face ends up on milk cartons.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Jake has her face put on milk cartons for some reason.
But they don't put her picture up in the
Holy
store.
shit.
I
Okay.
noticed.
I, like I said, I've got the special running on my laptop right now, just in the background. You're right. I didn't realize how egregious that was with the time passing thing.
Mm-hmm.
They show it ripping off into September. Then they cut to the scene where presents are still under the tree for Grandma, and they're all wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they have just now recently gone, well, I guess she's dead.
Well, and they missed a golden opportunity here to have somebody say, "Should we open up her gifts or send them back?" Send them back.
Well, then they get them back saying, well, it's past the return date. You can't give these back.
Well, yeah,
You
'cause
waited
it's
until September, you
idiot.
assholes. So what? So Mel asks Grandpa to take her out
Well,
to dinner
what
at
hap-
her
what happened-
favorite restaurant.
Well, right, yeah. She
Well,
tells
like a
she tells
bitch.
Austin Bucks and cozies up to him. She basically comes onto him.
Yeah.
And she tricks Grandpa into signing over the deed to her.
Which causes him.
Wait. She wants him to sign here, and he goes, "Sing." No. Sign. I have here the transition to the blatant padding song at 1940 is lazy and insulting.
Yeah.
Because then he goes, "No, I'd rather sing." Then he sings this song, "Grandma Spending Christmas with the Superstars."
Yeah, and for some reason in his head, Grandma is, I guess, getting fucked by Elvis.
Yeah, no,
it's somewhere,
because
yeah.
he presumes she's dead, and she's in the afterlife with various
Elvis
celebrities.
And he's
Tupac.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Biggie.
Which I should point out, at 20 minutes and 40 seconds or around that time, granny panties are tossed at Senior
Yes,
Grandpa.
they are.
How is this for children?
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot.
And my next
about
note
that.
is
Thank
Grandpa is fucking senile.
you. Yeah, he is.
But that's for the next scene. Never mind.
So Mel takes the deed to Austin Bucks. Some more shenanigans happen. We're introduced to her lawyer.
Yeah.
Anybody remember her lawyer's name, guys?
Yes. I am slime.
I am Slime.
Which I want to point out, there's an extra insult at the end of the special because they have the credits and everything. I Am Slime's picture is the one that sits atop the credits for the people who handled the legal aspects of this special.
Mm-hmm.
Like, haha, fuck you, people who helped us legally get this off the ground.
Well,
I'll be honest, guys. See, even up to this point, I'm still with Cousin Mel.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, she has to go find the deed.
I mean, she's not.
I mean, yes, she did try to poison
Somebody.
random elderly people.
Yeah, I think wasn't. I mean, they don't explicitly say it, but maybe wasn't that the point of that to?
Oh, she was going to discredit Grandma's business.
Right, that's what it was, to get her to sell, yeah.
Yeah, people were going to be like, oh my God, this old lady poisoned us. We're going to stop shopping at her general store, and she'll have no point or no choice but to sell it to Austin Bucks.
Right.
The problem is like, look, Grandma's giving away free shit every day. Senile Grandpa over here is playing cards by himself, and he keeps saying he's playing them with Cousin Mel. She's not even there. He thinks he's Elvis.
No, you're right. The business is kind of successful despite Grandma, not because of.
Yeah, and then
Grandma's getting a heaven train run on her by various dead celebrities.
Right.
I think it's funny they chose Elvis as the celebrity because he's the one who's most purportedly, for the longest time was purportedly not dead at all.
Right.
Oh yeah.
The rest of the Spankenheimer family. Spankenheimer family is.
This is important. You have to know this.
They're wearing black. Their customer service is through the roof. They're losing business. Yeah, if I was Cousin Mel, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to save this family.
I mean, you know what? To be fair,
let me take my Daphne-looking ass.
To be fair. At the start of it, before she gets worse, is like the entire point of this was like, yeah, she's money grubbing and kind of evil, but she's trying to get a deal for everybody to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like this is a deal that will benefit her and everybody at the same time.
And you can tell by looking at her in the cartoon. She's about 35, her biological clock is ticking. She needs to find a man. Bucks comes in. He's a good-looking cat. What are you going to do? I mean,
you're right, Doggz.
What are you going to do, Austin Bucks?
Yeah, they're going to consummate
let's get there
this
first.
deal.
Let's get there first.
So, it takes 9 months for Jake to get the bright idea. Why don't I just email Santa at the aforementioned email address, santa@santaisreal.com?
Jake is not a smart kid.
Do you remember how he gets that idea? His dog, Doofus, happens to bring over an old Christmas list that he had printed out at some point. Why does he have that lying around? Is he reminiscing about all the shit he asked for?
I mean,
that he didn't get because everyone was mourning Grandma.
Yeah.
Also, they spelled
and he's
email
greedy.
with an apostrophe.
Oh my God!
When it gets sent, it's E' mail.
So he attaches, helpfully, I might add, a picture of Grandma to his email that he sends to Santa.
Did he do it with ASCII art? How did he?
I don't know. So Santa gets the email, and after complaining about no one in Cityville writing him any letters because the Own All Corporation is providing everybody with presents.
That's the funny thing is like Cityville is presumably the only place on the planet that no longer has any sort of solid belief in Santa. Santa in this world is real, but everyone in Cityville is like, Santa doesn't really.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Santa doesn't exist. I have there in my note probably the saddest note. Santa sums up the cynical heart of this movie, and I quote, "If I can meet just one stinking person who understands the holidays are about human kindness with only a touch of conspicuous consumption." And I thought, it's like, did season 1 Daria write this? It's like, what the fuck is that? That is like what you find in a marketing textbook for how to market at the holidays. What is the theme of marketing at the holidays? That's what that is. That is
human kindness and a tiny bit of conspicuous consumption.
What the fuck is that? That is not the heart of a Christmas special.
So Santa gets the email from Jake, and he goes and finds Grandma.
Magical Larry David, based on how they had him scream his lines.
Yeah,
angry elderly New Yorker.
She is being kept in a bed in the North Pole where she has amnesia and doesn't remember anything, and getting amnesia has just made her snarkier.
Despite her whole point from that moment on is just giving out one-liners
and
quip machine Grandma.
All right, so let's just go ahead and
can I backtrack for 1 second? It's like, how does it, the fact that Santa being real is in question, he manages to email him? Like he manages to pick the one thing that would be like really to Santa. Like there are places in real life where you can like email and Santa will answer.
Sure.
Are they all him in this particular world?
Well, this is also my question.
Also, why is their website that's santaisreal.com? What is this like? Is it like
stand by? I have the internet in my pocket.
It feels like. My question is.
Yeah.
If Santa has the internet,
Yes.
and he has email,
Yeah.
why are there elves still putting together wooden fire trucks and dolls made out of weird canvas? That
Santa's an ancient hipster. He believes in a personal artisanal touch.
SantaIsReal.com is a real website. The most exciting way to spend Christmas with your children.
Are you kidding me?
It's a novel. Purchase the novel for Christmas. And it's being made into a film.
What the fuck?
yes. Well, we've got something to do next year.
Apparently, if we do this, if I want to put myself.
Oh, we
through
kind
this
of glossed
next year.
over it, but when Santa tells Quincy, the elf that gives him the email, tells Quincy to email the kid back and let him know, what's going on. Quincy decides to go get Jake.
Yeah.
So and when Quincy and Jake meet, they ET touch.
Yeah,
And
that
why
was
does-
weird.
that was-
And why
what
does it
was
shock
that?
them? Like Quincy knows what a kid is.
Well, I
Jake
mean-
is the only one who should be surprised.
So Quincy the elf tells Jake, your grandmother's alive. We've got her rehabilitated at the North Pole, and we can just plow on through to the end here, right, guys?
Another useless song that explains exactly what is happening on screenplays.
Yeah,
about the spirit of Christmas.
Quincy takes Jake to the North Pole. Jake finds Grandma again. They bring her back home.
wait.
Everybody, hold on.
Oh, God,
Everybody,
I'm sorry.
Everybody is happy. Grandma's back, and the family's reunited, and we live happily ever after. Right? This is about.
That is
35
basically
minutes.
what happens, yeah.
This is about 35 minutes into the special. There we go. That's the perfect ending. There's
Right.
no reason to keep going anymore, is there?
Right. I mean, that's wrap it up, put a bow on it. Christmas
but there is.
Because the next 15 minutes
Did you-
are a motherfucking legal drama in,
Dun, 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 dun.
in which
There is no law or order in this.
cousin Mel, how do we even? So
My note
They-
here is the people who made this hate children.
So Jake brings Grandma and Santa Claus and Quincy the Elf to the Own All Corporation office to Austin
They
Bucks.
fly in broad daylight to land in front. Everyone looks up and sees this. Mel's first reaction is, "Oh shit, it's Grandma!" Not "Holy shit, Santa's real."
So they walk into Austin Bucks' office and reveal that instead of taking her to a hospital, Santa took her to the North Pole for rehabilitation because they have free health care at the North Pole.
Let's
all take a moment to let that settle in.
Yeah.
let's and gloss over the fact that Santa committed a hit and run and then kidnapping in short order.
Yes, which they are quick to point out because Mel downstairs distracts and then kidnaps Grandma. So Santa and Jake have no Grandma to present to the board that she's still alive.
Yeah, Jake just runs up, and Jake and Santa just run up to the offices via the stairs. Apparently, there's no elevators in this giant corporate building.
Apparently.
And to tell them what happened without bringing Grandma up. Well, okay, admittedly, she's still an amnesiac, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
help.
but
You can't kidnap somebody because
But also-
she said, "Hey, come with me." And she's okay, and
that's a good point. You're right.
She did go willingly. That's not really a kidnapping.
that's right.
Well, with no Grandma there,
Still on Team Cousin Mel.
with no Grandma there to back up their story, what choice do they have left but to accuse Santa
of slahicular manslaughter.
slahicular manslaughter and leaving the scene of a crime? And
This is legit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Santa is taken
Well-
to court.
But not before we get a song. Well, see, they're suing on behalf of Grandpa, and to illustrate and to talk about this important concept, they introduce a song.
Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off Santa.
Just type that into YouTube. And
Presented as a Hawaiian calypso number.
It's a minute long.
It's just the same lyrics over and over again.
Yeah.
I kept wondering how much longer is this going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa's going to sue the pants off Santa. That's
Grandpa is my favorite character. I love this man.
Admittedly, in a better special, he would be even more awesome. Because he is very funny.
It's
in a way
between
that
him and Cousin Mel. Those are my guys.
the thing is, those two characters are doing good work in a special that does not deserve them.
No.
They are, if they were in a special that jived with the type of humor they're putting out, it'd be fantastic. But everyone else is playing it too straight, and Grandpa's like, whatever.
So the last 10 minutes of this
I just
special,
saw Grandma get plowed. It's hilarious.
So the last 10 minutes are a courtroom drama in which
this judge should be disbarred. I'm just going to toss that out
the
there.
prosecuting attorney should be disbarred. Everybody in this legal team should be disbarred. Jake rescues Grandma from the cabin.
Jake gets to the cabin, looks in, because I have to back up for 1 second. There's a scene where his older sister and Grandpa, they all figure out, Cousin Mel's up to something. And only Jake goes out to that cabin with Quincy for some reason. Grandpa, I assume, just sits back down, and the sister's like, whatever.
And goes off into another weird fantasy sequence.
Yeah. Jake and Quincy go out there. He looks in the window, and he sees that, yes, Mel has Grandma sitting in the cabin comfortably, and he gasps. He's like, what are you gasping for? This is what you thought was happening.
Yeah. This is...
So, speeding right along to the nightmarish ending, Jake rescues Grandma. He brings her to court. They present the evidence of the note that Santa left.
Jake starts lawyering.
Well, before they do that, they have to bring Grandma around because she still has amnesia.
Right.
Oh, right. And
So-
how do they do this?
Oh, well, they do that now, if cartoons have taught us anything, the only way to cure amnesia through head trauma is more head trauma.
You hit him again. The Flintstones cover this extensively.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not what happened.
No, they break the rules.
No, and they would not give me my doctorate when I tried to present that argument to the board.
Fools.
I could be a surgeon right now.
I would like to know where you would be staffed so I could avoid it strenuously.
Obviously, the trauma ward of a hospital with a clipboard and a hammer.
Dave, I think that would make.
What happened?
I think
he fell off of a beam 100 stories up and hit his head. I got this, ma'am.
Dave, I think that would make you the trauma.
Local man arrested for hitting trauma patients over the head with a hammer. Quote, I thought it would fix them.
Dead. They're all dead.
But no, seriously, how do they fix Grandma? I don't remember.
Didn't he feed her fruitcake?
Yeah,
better fruitcake.
That's right.
And she was like, what
am I doing here?
What am I doing here? Hey, Jake. And
yeah, she says Jake. She remembers him immediately.
no, at this point, I called bullshit.
Yeah. At this point, all right.
Yeah, it took you this long.
Yeah.
So they take Grandma to court. They present the note that Santa left as evidence that he wasn't kidnapping her.
Jake starts lawyering, which I'm pretty sure he hasn't passed the bar.
And his defense is he asks the jury to eat some of Grandma's fruitcake, to which the judge replies, in the name of the law, we must eat this fruitcake.
Yeah. No, that's legit. Yeah.
This is after, the prosecuting attorney tells the jury, if the mitt fits, you must acquit.
No, convict.
Convict.
It doesn't even rhyme.
All right, so we're going to throw in some 7-year-old, but still somehow
OJ.
topical.
Kids know OJ,
joke.
right? This is for kids.
Yeah. Everyone. So they eat Grandma's fruitcake. And they're like, "Oh my God!"
Don't pause the next time you say that.
None of the members of the jury want to eat this fruitcake, but
they eat Grandma's fruitcake.
But they all do. They all taste it, and they're just so enamored with it. And then Jake holds up a bag, a damp, filthy bag with stink lines coming off of
that's
it. That's
damn near a year old.
It is at least 9 months old of the fruitcake that Mel poisoned, and then they ask the jury to eat the poisoned fruitcake. Killing the entire jury.
Judge, you want to get in on this
sending the courtroom into chaos. No, they all eat it and they're fine, but it's just a little gross.
And it attracts the reindeer. That's the problem.
Yes. So Jake makes his closing argument, which is whatever Mel put into this fucking fruitcake.
Doogie Howser Esquire starts lawyering some more.
It's just like crack cocaine for reindeer. They call it reindeer nip.
Yeah.
I should point out this happens one time previously, but the reindeer that walks into court during this apologizes.
Can talk.
The reindeer can talk. They can talk. Holy shit, they can talk. Also, Santa's real.
That could have cleared this whole thing up 30 minutes ago.
The reindeer talks.
I did that. My bad.
Yeah, he talks earlier in the special. No one cares.
Just glossed right over it. So,
Instead of taking, maybe the reindeer does, oh, you know what I just did here? But you know what? That's her house, I would imagine.
Jesus.
So
maybe we could just walk up and say, hey, I ran over your grandmother.
we'll take her back to the North Pole because we have free health care.
Yeah.
And apparently a great medical team.
I noted twice in my notes. I said, "Holy shit, the reindeer can talk." Also, no one actually cares if Santa is real. And then later on, when it happens again, holy shit, the reindeer can talk.
And no one cares. Well, this judge should be disbarred because she allows this 14-year-old child to take over
And then
as
she
Santa's
throws out
defense.
the case, which I'm pretty sure Mel could appeal.
She allows the 9-month-old soggy note to be entered in as evidence, and she allows a jury to eat fruitcake in the name of the law.
She says they tell her to dust it for prints. They hand her this
Oh yeah, but they
old-ass
give her
note.
and they tell her they tell her it's already been dusted for prints.
What?
This note has been in the dog's.
Okay.
This note has been in the dog's mouth. Yeah,
everyone's touched it.
Yeah.
Whose prints are on it? Everybody's.
But it's all enough to convince the judge and the jury to let Santa.
Well, she throws out the
go.
case.
She throws out the case.
And then Cousin Mel confesses, but that's not admissible evidence.
No.
She just blurts it out.
So, how does this thing end?
Okay, so everyone, everything's cleared up, and they all go to leave, and then,
that's
they
right.
open up the wrong fruitcake.
Yes, Grandma is outside, and she is holding a container of fruitcake, and
It's the
she
wrong one.
opens it, and the little smell lines start coming out of it. Oh no, it's I cannot stress this enough, poisoned fruitcake,
I think
which
you mean
attracts
reindeer nip,
which attracts one of the reindeer, who promptly turns around and runs
plows
Grandma over for a second
Grandma
time.
dies. The end.
I wanted that so badly to be the ending. That might have redeemed it for me. If it had just the reindeer runs her over,
she
cut
was
to black.
fine. Apparently, I don't give a shit.
and Jake and Grandpa come over and pick her up, and that's the end of the movie.
So great, good ending. Now Cousin Mel's in jail. And
they don't arrest her for anything, did they?
Or she can't come back to the store anymore.
No, but I mean, it's like they can't convict
She's a
her or
pariah
anything.
now.
Yeah, she can't come back to the store. The store's going to continue to lose money.
She can't go back to the house.
No.
And
her life is ostensibly ruined.
Yeah,
She's never
as is everybody's.
She's never going to finish that card game with Grandpa.
No, Austin Bucks is going to want nothing to do with her now.
Oh no! I mean, that's right. At the end, Austin.
Because this made Cityville news.
That's right. At the end, Austin comes back up to Grandma and he's like, "Well, I've given up on that whole mechanical sleigh idea. How about we just franchise your store?"
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then that's the
right,
super
yeah.
mega happy ending.
Yeah. Oh, poor Cousin Mel. All she wanted to do was make a little bit of money.
And
little bit of money.
consummate that
Help the
relationship.
family out.
Consummate that deal.
Consummate that
Chris.
deal.
Oh, we glossed right over that.
Yeah, we
Let's
did.
go.
At one point-
Consummate the
If Jake wasn't in
deal.
that room, I don't think Mel would have clothes on.
No. Oh boy. Well,
And I feel like because I Am Slime was in there too,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Well,
all right.
since the both of you are naked,
I'm pretty sure she had a thing for Cousin Mel.
I'm sure there's fan fiction out there where this exact scenario played out.
Pretty
oh yeah,
So that's the film. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Okay.
But can I?
I got to say one thing. You
Go
say
ahead.
film, and
It's Christmas special.
it is, but it's, Wikipedia also generously calls it a film too.
So it is 2019. It is almost 2020. We live in the era of dark and edgy remakes.
yeah."
I would like to propose my idea for a darker, edgier
Anything's
remake.
better than edgy and lazy, which is what this was.
You have my attention.
So we start off with drunk grandma staggering out of her house while Carol of the Bells or something
She's
is playing.
clearly had too much eggnog.
She's had too much eggnog. She forgot her medication. She gets in her car and she starts driving down a snowy mountain road at night. But her car stalls and she has to pull off on the side of the road. So she gets out of her car and she's trying to stagger home down this mountain. And she keeps hearing hoof prints and noises in the air and jingle bells. She's looking around and she doesn't know where this is coming from. And then she hears it again and she turns around, nothing behind her. But then she looks up and here come the reindeer and just bam, right through her, just to the ground. She has hoof marks on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back. And she lies there in the snow and the camera rises up and we see her dead body splayed out in the snow, surrounded by blood. And you cut to the opening credits, and it's 9 Inch Nails doing a Christmas song. It's Trent Reznor.
Yeah, the girl with the reindeer imprints.
It's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, right?
I'm afraid of America.
Doing the opening credit song. And then we cut to her grandson, Jake, the private detective, who takes Jake Spankenheimer, private detective.
We're keeping that name.
Who has to investigate his grandmother's gruesome death.
Yeah.
Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, 2020, directed by David Hensley.
All right.
I'm down. I'm down.
Fine.
Give me $5 million. I make this film right now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
starring Stan Wilson Lee as Grandpa.
Yeah.
Jumping back a bit, when Jake is meeting with Santa, and he's got this amazing memory because Santa tells people things about themselves that he knows. One of Jake's defining traits that he tosses out there is he loves pillow fights with his sister, and I find that worrisome.
Yeah,
very much so.
Especially because it feels like the sister doesn't want much to do with him.
Well, I mean, at one point, Jake also mentions that Grandma is the only one who understands him, and I was watching this and I thought, well, yeah, that's because Grandma's the only one who recognizes that you're a young homosexual. Like, even you haven't accepted that yet.
Keep having weird.
You don't have any friends. I mean, clearly.
I mean, just accept yourself for who you are.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be
bud.
having pillow fights with your sister.
Yeah. You are who you are. No one's judging you.
Like this whole.
There's no one in the city to judge you. You don't have any friends.
The only note I had for the Grandpa's Gonna Sue Santa song, the only note there is, I think I'm having a stroke.
There was a point where I thought of actually taking notes about this, but I didn't care enough.
Quincy was really the only character I kind of liked. Mostly because he actually did his job right.
Oh, no. Quincy freaked me out.
Looks aside.
The elves in this one were abominations. They should be exterminated.
He looked okay to me, and he did his job right. And since they didn't script him to do too much, he was capable when he was doing stuff.
Oh no! The Santa's got own all now. There needs to be an elf holocaust. They were all terrifying.
He broke in
my note here is
Jake's room, and Jake did not have a baseball bat near the bed.
He's not a sports kid, as we've established.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing. And you can tell.
Doofus was there barking at him.
I mean, seriously, he's not a sports kid. He keeps random Christmas lists he's written in the past.
That's true. That's true. Which goes back. Baseball is a team sport. He has no friends.
What child is this?
Greensleeves. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, I think this should have been about a family mourning the loss of their grandmother while the youngest grandchild comes into his own and discovers and accepts himself for who he is.
Mm-hmm. And maybe plots revenge on Santa for killing his grandmother.
Oh, yeah, and then launches a full-blown criminal investigation.
Right.
Yeah.
This is just not for children.
Well, no. Doggz, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share about Grandma Got Run Over?
Like I said, I enjoy. This is a fun little romp. 2 thumbs up. A must-see. Raves 2 Dogs Weekly.
I'm going to disagree on that last point. I don't think it's must-see. I think this is, at the very least, you could just throw it on in the background and forget about it.
Yeah.
Which is best where it's best served.
Yeah. This film is not as bad as all of the other Reindeer, but it's still 2 thumbs down from me, to the point where I don't know if I want to do this again next year.
No, I think we...
so I can do it?
Sure, you pick the movie next year.
Well, you know,
I'm going on record and saying it now. At which point, I might take any creative control from you whatsoever for the next year.
if I may stick my pretty little nose in this, I think you should go every holiday. Every holiday's got a cartoon dedicated to it.
I'm willing to try.
I think we should go with Easter. I think we should go with 4th of July. I think we should go with Halloween. I think we should go with
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
well, Halloween is Dave's territory always anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you think there are any terrible Valentine's Day cartoons out there? that we
Oh,
could
I'll bet there
plumb
are.
the depths of?
If nothing else, we could find a terrible episode of something.
Oh yeah.
No, I could be wrong about this, but I seem to remember
There's all of the other Cupid.
I seem to remember a Frosty the Snowman Valentine's Day thing.
Like
What
animated?
kind of witchcraft are you talking about?
I
I hate
could have
that.
I could have dreamed that, but I think that
I
exists.
hope you did.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
All right.
something like that is out there.
Well, listeners, that is our 2019 Christmas movie coverage. I'm going to put all of the other Reindeer episode up on YouTube permanently, so you can go and listen to that one if you would like. Do you guys, while we wrap up, want to throw out your social media handles for people to follow you if they would like?
I'd rather not people.
No, don't
know
talk
who
to
I
me.
am.
Okay, well, you can visit Long Walk Productions online at longwalk.us, and you can also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/longwalkpro. And if you are so inclined, you can follow me on Instagram at dbhensley. Most of what I post on Instagram is not related to business whatsoever. It's mainly pictures of my dogs. But still feel free to follow me if you guys would like. If you enjoy the show, also please make sure to check out our sister show, This Is a Work, a wrestling review podcast hosted by David Two Dogs Hayes.
Which actually, by the time this goes out, I think it will be. We'll be looking ahead to January, and I believe that will be the Royal Rumble. I think we'll be covering that one. So
Did you honestly forget the Rumble happens in January?
I did.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Well, this is
Oh,
going
it's
to go
happening.
up. This is going to go up next weekend. So This Is a Work listeners can also look forward to the TLC episode and the year-end wrap-up.
I can't. I'm sorry, I forgot what we were talking about. I just think everyone should go on Daily Motion and watch this.
That's right. Yeah, in case if you missed it already, you can watch this in its entirety on Daily Motion.
Because you deserve to have this happen to you too.
A fun ride.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Not for Grandma.
No. Thank you guys for joining me on this fun ride. Everyone at Long Walk Productions, we all hope that you have a very safe and happy holiday.
Mind the eggnog and look where you're walking.
Exactly.
Take your medication.
Yes. And,
Keep it with you.
And if Grandma is a little confused and she's been drinking too much eggnog and she forgot her medication, drive her home. Don't make her walk home in the snow. Don't be an asshole.
I know she's
what's wrong
fiercely
with you?
independent, but she needs help and she just doesn't recognize it.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Happy holidays from Long Walk Talks, and This Is a Work.
Happy holidays.
Anybody seen Grandma? Anyone. Anyone.